Hello, welcome back to Handmade. So I'm Kim Hood, and in today's video, it is actually 3 projects, and the third project has 3 parts. So it's technically 6 projects in one video. And so today we're going to be doing everything Christmas. The first project, it didn't turn out well. It's ugly. It's ugly. Yeah, you're not gonna like it. But I will tell you that in it I will tell you where I went wrong and what I do different next go round. The second project is just me learning how to do cartoon faces. I'm not good at it. It's something I've kind of stayed away from. But when it comes time for holidays, gingerbread men and snowmen faces are fun to put on projects. And so I'll be doing that in this particular part of the video. And then the last video, again, it's going to be a 3-in-1. It's about buttons, making some Christmas art or Christmas decor using different colored buttons. So I think y'all like it. And so with that said, let's get on with the video. Okay, I'm going to take some clothespins and we're going to make well, it was originally going to be a snowflake, but it's going to turn out to be a star. And just so you know, I really hate how this turned out. But I'm going to show you what not to do. Now, I've taken them apart. I've practiced what I want it to look like. I'm going to take the Type Bond Quick and Thick and glue them together. And the Type Bond Quick and Thick goes on the outside. And then I'm going to use my glue gun on the middle part. Glue them together. I'm going to tape them closed so they don't move. Some of them don't require tape, but some of them are a little bit bowed up. So after they dry, I'll remove the tape and I'll begin to assemble what I want it to look like. So I'm just practicing. I decided to get this disc to glue it to. And this was mistake number 1. I should have just glued the actual pins together. But I thought this might help stabilize it. And I should have just stopped there. But I thought, I don't know. Maybe we need to put one on the front. That's mistake number 2. Don't do that. But I thought, well, I'm going to put some like greenery in the center of it anyway. And the original idea was to spray paint it white to make it like a snowflake. But then I thought, well, wouldn't it be kind of cool to have a stained star? And I'm putting on this Waverly antiquing wax to do the staining. And as I'm doing it, I'm thinking, I don't like this either. But I'm going to go with it. You know, trust the process and all. And so I'll show you how this turns out. Now I've got it completely stained and I don't like the way it looks, so I thought, well, let me wrap some wire around the ends, this gold wire. Maybe that'll kind of make it pop. And when I put it on there, I thought, okay, I might like this. So I went ahead and went with it, and I wrapped the wire around all of the points of the star, kind of give it a little bit of bling. And then this is some leftover placemat, jute placemat. I'm going to cut a little square. I'm going to fray the edges of it and glue it to the center as a kind of a background for my greenery to go on. Okay, and now these are just some leftover picks that I have, and I'm going to play around to kind of figure out how I want it to go. Use little pine cones, a little berry, and I'll glue that down. Now I need to put a hanger on it. Wish I'd come up with a better idea, but I thought, well, I'll wrap this jute twine around the tip so that the loop will stick to it a little bit better. I tie a knot in my loop, and I'm going to glue that down, and then I'm going to wrap more jute twine around it to hold it into place. And yes, I did burn the jute. I'm going to trim that off. And now I have this little ugly star that I do not like, but I was going to go ahead and put it in here anyway to show you what not to do. If I had it to do over, I would have not put the rounds on it. I would have spray painted it white. I still would have done the greenery in the center, and I would come up with a different way of hanging it. But this is just hideous, and I really hate it. But, you know, live and learn. Sometimes things turn out well, sometimes they don't. Okay, now with the second project, these are some spoons I bought from Temu. I'm going to clean them up. They're very cheap. They bend easily. You can't really use them for anything. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some gingerbread man faces on them. And I'm going to paint them. Now, I painted them originally with this folk art enamel glass paint. It also is good for metals. And it's a dark brown, and I do put 2 coats on it. I don't like this color. It doesn't look like gingerbread to me. So I'm going to mix up a little extra orange and yellow to make it more of a gingerbread color. Now, there were times I thought it might look like a little bit of baby poo. But then I'm like, no, that's a gingerbread color. So I went with it. I'm not good at drawing faces. And so this was going to be a challenge. And I did find some face examples of gingerbread men off of Pinterest. So I'm going to take these are glass markers. They work good on metal. And I'm going to use these to draw my gingerbread men faces on. And so you'll see me at times like I'm dipping it into my plate. I'm not really dipping it. I'm pushing the tip down to get more paint on the tip. And so I'll just let y'all watch this and enjoy some music. Now with the cheeks, I did not have the right pink color, and so I'm mixing some red and white. I pushed some out on my plate and kind of mixed it together. That worked a little bit. I used my fingers at times to kind of dab the pink off. And during this whole process, I kept thinking, I don't like these faces. But I just kept going with it, and the more I worked with it, the better I liked it. And I think in the end, they did turn out pretty cute. And here's where I'll kind of dab a little bit off with my finger to kind of lighten it a little bit. So the whole time I'm kind of trying to figure out a technique that's going to work best for making faces because it's a craft that I'm not good at, and I want to learn how to do it and get better at it. So I'll be doing more faces in projects to come. I'm just going back in with the black to clean up the edges and highlight a few things. And then I wanted this little gingerbread person to have some green eyes. The other ones have blue, but I thought, let's have a green-eyed one. This is one where I wanted to do one with the mouth open, and this actually turned out pretty cute. In a few minutes, you'll see where I'm going to put a little tongue in there, which turned out pretty cute. And here's the tongue. It may not show up well in the video, but you can see it. It looks like a tongue in a kind of a partially open mouth. You're not going to see bright red with that. I thought some freckles would be cute. And I'm going to put bows on each one of them. So I got some gingham checked bows, and then I'm going to bend the spoons. the handles of the spoons. Now that allows for it to hang on things. You can hang it on the edge of a vase or on your Christmas tree or on a basket. It makes really cute decorations just hanging around. At the end, I'll kind of show you how I styled it on a few things. And here they are, aren't they cute? And this is going to be my third project. There's actually going to be a set of 3 button art, essentially. I'm going to make a snowman, I'm going to do a Christmas tree, and I'm going to do a wreath. And so I've poured out all of my buttons here, and I'm going to be just collecting different colored buttons. So I do green, I'm doing some beiges and browns, and I'll also do some white. Now for the background for my Christmas tree, I'm going to use some of this jute placemat and glue it to the back of what would normally be the picture frame. And I'll trim that off. Okay, and I'm going to use a Scrabble tile for the trunk of my tree. And what I've done here is I've gathered all of my green buttons, and I'll kind of put them into place looking at them, and then when I kind of like the way they look, I'll glue it down. So this is the base, and I'll keep doing this all the way until I get the point of the tree created. There were some metal wires on some of them that I had to use my Cricut tool to get those off, along with some of my tweezers that you see there. And again, just playing with the different buttons, placing them, see what it looks like, getting the ones that fit into, essentially it's like putting a puzzle together. Now, of course, it's not going to be complete without a star. We'll do that. I'm using my heat gun there to remove any strings of glue. Okay, now this is going to be Frosty the Snowman, and I printed off the sheet music, and I'm using Tim Holtz distressing ink to make it look kind of old. So I have an idea about where I'm going to put this on the back of a picture frame. And so I'm going to do it in this little square. And once I have that done, I'll cut it out and glue it to the picture frame back. This is just some Elmer's glue. And I'll trim that off. And I'm using that distressing ink to just darken the edges a little bit more. It just adds some depth. Okay, this is the frame I'm going to use. I'll clean the glass with a little Windex. I put the glass in, and you can see here that the music is going to be the background. The snowman is going to go on the glass. So those are the 3 buttons I'm going to use, and I'm just using some ribbon to make my little snowman's scarf. The tweezers were very helpful with this because these little pieces were difficult to just use your fingers. And then I'll do a small piece for where the scarf goes around the neck. That's going to be a little brooch on the scarf, and then I put the head on afterwards. Now, the glass was very loose, so I went back in and put some glue in the corners to hold it so that it wouldn't wiggle around. It also made the back of the frame attach easier. Now I'm using some black fabric because he needs a hat. This was just plain black fabric. If I'd have had some felt, I would have liked using that better, but I just had this fabric and it turned out fine. Okay, you can see the brooch, and I'm going to be putting some pretty little blingy red crystals on the hat. And then in the brooch, I will put a green one in there. Isn't it cute? Alright, and it needed something, so I had this little button that's actually a present, and I just glued that next to Mr. Frosty. Okay, now let's do the Christmas tree. First thing I'm going to do is use some Waverly Antiquing Wax to stain my frame. And I'll work that all the way around, wipe off the excess, and make sure that I do the edges on the inner part of the frame and along the outer part of the frame. Now, and here I am. There we go. So the Christmas tree is now in the frame, and I'm showing it to you, but I'm thinking it looks awful plain. So we need to bling it up. Bling! Okay, so I'm going to get some red and white little crystally things, and just kind of practice putting them into different places, and then I'll glue them into place. Okay, now that looks much better. And I want to do the wreath, so I'm going to dump out all of my brown buttons, and I will be separating out anything that's brown and beige and white. And make room for the base. I got this wood hanging piece from Michael's. They had them on sale. It's been a number of months ago. They'll have them on sale from time to time. You can get them for like $1, $3, that sort of thing. This is a round, and I'm going to just use a pencil to trace it because I need kind of a round form on which to put the buttons to make the wreath. And I'm just going to arrange these in a pattern that I like, using big ones on the bottom, mediums to the side, and even put some tiny ones along the top, using some dark brown ones to add some depth here and there. And I'll just keep playing around with it until I get something that I like, and then I'll glue it into place. And I'm stacking buttons on top again just to add some depth there. And then once I get it made, I'll be adding a bow. And I'm going to use this pretty Christmas ribbon. I got them from Michael's, I believe, on top of the jute ribbon, and place that on the wreath. Now after I trim everything up, I'm going to glue this bow to a button, because that made it easier to stick to the wreath. I tried to glue it down without a button, it just would not stick well. So with the button, a big button that is, it attached nicely. I thought about adding a little greenery to it. I still may, but for the purpose of this video, I left it pretty plain. Used my heat gun to remove any stray strands. And here's the final pieces. You can see how I have the spoons looped over a glass vase. A little close up there. They're not perfect, but they're pretty cute. And my little snowman picture. The Christmas tree with one of the other spoons draped over it. And the wreath. I think that turned out cute. Still might add a little greenery, not sure yet. And here are the spoons draped over another vase with the ugly star that I really hate. Y'all, if you made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed those projects. And if you will just like and subscribe, it'll help out and you won't miss anything going forward because there's more to come.